Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and reports suggest that a detailed investigation into Chinese cyber warfare has concluded that nearly every official in America has been compromised, including the hacking, I think, of Donald Trump's phone during the election last year. And it's not just America, right? 80 countries around the world where China has been successful waging its cyber war, with Xi Jinping hosting Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un in a clear show of anti-Western polarization. What are the threats which China could pose should global conflict ramp up in future? Because forget about who has the strongest military. If one side has a cyber weapon advantage, that could be crucial. But first, for daily news and politics, please click the subscribe button to stay notified. So last week, the US government announced the scale of the problem of Chinese cyber attacks. A bit of a head scratcher as to why any government would so openly tell their own public and the world how rubbish they were at cyber defence and how good their main geopolitical rivals are at getting through their rubbish cyber defences. It is perhaps intended as a wake-up call. Should China decide to launch expansionist military operations in the future, will the US and allies be able to continue to dissuade them if China has the ability to shut down critical infrastructure and create social chaos by flooding countries with highly confidential information about their leaders? I mean, let's consider how we got here. So, a decade ago, Chinese hacking teams were the rock stars of the internet. Every year between 2010 and 2016, they would sweep the contests, right? Then 2017, nothing. No more Keen Lab, no more oops, nothing. The best hackers on earth ghosted everyone. At the time, it looked like a retreat. The FBI's latest alert says no, it's the opposite. They traded the spotlight for a seat inside their power stations, their water plants, their phone carriers. Turns out the competition never ended, the venue just changed. So imagine like a sports dynasty that suddenly forfeits every match. That's what happened. Trophy cabinets were full, bragging rights secured, then suddenly, no more visa stamps, no more press photos. But back home, Beijing was rolling out the Typhoon Cup. Invitation only, foreigners need not apply. Same elite talent, new private stage. The takeaway wasn't subtle. It was, we're done showing off, we're now getting to work. Now then you jump to last year. So Microsoft, plus a handful of spy agencies, outs a crew they call Salt Typhoon. Formal address, China's Ministry of State Security. Now these are hoodie-wearing teens. They're inside AT&T, Lumen, Verizon Business, quietly copying every map of the internet they can find. Routers, switches, admin passwords, tens of thousands of them. Now live on somebody's classified hard drive. It's not so much hack the planet, it's more download the planet. Security experts say Salt Typhoon has basically left 1,000 backpacks in US networks, and imagine each one stuffed with digital semtex. Just sitting there in power plants, water systems, mobile phone masts. They're not doing anything right now, they're just waiting. One command and a city could go dark, or a reservoir starts pouring extra chlorine. You know, no jets, no tanks, just a keystroke and deniable chaos. You know, take Guam, for example, small Pacific island, giant strategic value, airbase, right? Salt Typhoon poked around the networks that keep Andersen Air Force Base humming. Analysts think Beijing was rehearsing for a Taiwan flare-up. Because if you can scramble the comms, you delay Washington's response by a few hours. Suddenly the timetable for any move on Taipei looks way more doable. Earlier this year, someone spilled a Shanghai contractor's inbox, eSoon's spreadsheets, read like a bit of a takeaway menu for spies. You know, there were admin passwords for Army National Guard SharePoint, $35,000. Another line item, stolen credentials from 5 state governments, bundle discount. The receipts are there. It's not random hacking, it's state-directed shopping. So why steal a router map? Because owning the map means you can reroute or kill any conversation you want. Could be a diplomatic cable, cargo manifest, 999 emergency call, or 911 in America, whatever. It's like having the master key to every motorway, train line and airport on Earth. You know, so if the tensions spike, those keys can turn into weapons. Imagine a future morning. So after we've had a period of geopolitical tensions rising, suddenly you wake up, there's no bars on your phone, there's no lights, there's no water from the tap. Credit cards are being declined. Traffic lights stare at you like a lemon. What do you want from me? Hospitals are running on diesel generators. Salt Typhoon's intrusions, they're not abstract. They are the contingency plan for exactly this morning, should China want to trigger it. Washington has already sanctioned a few Chinese firms that were caught supplying the tools, but the network mutates faster than the paperwork. Western security, according to experts, is still obsessed over keeping the hackers out. But Salt Typhoon is just lounging on your sofa. Firewalls cannot unpick stolen passwords. The new game is spotting weird behaviour, lightning fast speed. So like using AI to cough up, hang on, something's a bit off there, before the lights go out. Which means zero trust everything, red team drills on live power grids. But that needs budgets that nobody really wants to vote for. Translation, it looks like that warning last week from the FBI was them telling us that we're sprinting to catch a race that started years ago. The real headline isn't that China's A-list hackers left the global stage, it's that they upgraded to a bigger one. You know, our grids, our pipes, our phone lines, and quietly wired the whole place with hidden detonators. Remember, not just America. This latest publication was particularly about US security, but it's been done in other countries as well. When the next geopolitical storm hits, Beijing might not bother with missiles, may not need to. It could just flip the switch it installed years ago. The secret war isn't coming, it's already here, and China played the opening move while the rest of us were still reading the rules. And I think people in the West are still thinking in terms of militaries. China won't invade Taiwan because the US will defend it. And although China has an impressive military itself, it doesn't want to get involved in a direct war with America. I mean, look at it this way. Europe is much stronger militarily than Russia, and yet we are obsessively avoiding getting into a direct conflict with Russia. China does not want to get into a direct conflict with America under the terms that we understand them. But China may not need to risk that. We know China wants Taiwan, but we also know it's patient. It can afford to be patient, doesn't have to worry about elections. It will wait until the odds of a special 3D operation, which actually works, are overwhelmingly in their favour. But how far away are we from that day? And has Trump brought that day closer with his disjointed approach to world politics and defence? But let me know what you think in the comments below. And for more content, you could subscribe to the channel or even join for access to streams and behind the scenes updates. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.